New developments in the Hillary Clinton email scandal. The FBI is uncovering nearly 15,000 Clinton emails never turned over to the government after she left office, despite her insistence that she had handed over all the work-related messages. Also, a federal judge is ordering Clinton now to answer questions in writing under oath as part of a lawsuit by the conservative group Judicial Watch. It's seeking answers about her use of a private server while Secretary of State. And yesterday, Clinton's campaign manager dodged questions about whether her answers will be released publicly before the election, instead blasting Judicial Watch. Take a watch.
The right wing and Republicans in Congress are not satisfied with the answer that the career professionals at the FBI and the Justice Department gave. They said there was no case here. This is just another example of a right-wing group just trying to keep the questions coming.
Sounds like a no.
As I said, as soon as she receives the question, if the judge asks her to answer those questions, she will get to work right away.
Oh, I have some details about that coming up. But anyway, meanwhile, former Secretary of State Colin Powell is now pushing back after the New York Times reported that Clinton told the FBI Powell urged her to use a private email account on the job. He says he doesn't recall any conversation about that, but told the New York Post, quote, "The truth is she was using it, her personal email, for a year before I sent her a memo telling her what I did during my term as Secretary of State. Her people have been trying to pin it all on me," end quote. Powell's comments raising new questions about whether Clinton lied to the FBI. Wow, there's a lot to get to there. Let's start with the beginning. So she's going to be under oath this time, something she was not when she sat down with the FBI, which is not out of the ordinary, but just pointing it out. And there were no, as I understand, recording devices, which is why when anybody wanted to know what was said, it would have to be like a little note that Comey or somebody else would write out. How is this different, or better, or not?
Well, the fact that it's under oath is an improvement. What I have now, last night, literally in Washington, D.C., down in the basement there in what's called the SCIF, the Secure
You were hanging out?
I went through and read the so-called 302 and went through that. I can't talk about the content. I don't think that it should be...
Were you surprised by the content?
I was surprised that the FBI had redacted as much as they had. I'm surprised that this classified information, some of it very highly sensitive, is so classified and so sensitive that even I, as the chairman of the Oversight Committee, don't have the proper security clearance to read it, and she insists that she was not trading and exchanging emails that had classified information in it, which is absolutely, totally not true. And I'm surprised there's not more detail in there, too. And now to hear that there are, according to the Washington Post, 15,000 additional emails nobody ever heard of. She created this mess. This gentleman, whoever he is, tried to blame it on Colin Powell and congressional Republicans, of which I guess I am one.
By the way, he has the nickname, it used to be, and he was helping her out on campaigns as the Mooks Mafia guy. Anyway, go ahead.
To suggest, look, she created this convenient experiment with herself. It was the Inspector General who made the criminal referral to the FBI to start this criminal probe. So this was something that she did to herself.
Okay, so one of the key questions they're obviously going to ask her in some form or another is, why did you do this?
Right.
Because we still don't really know why. What do you think her answer will actually be?
Oh, well, I think the truth of the matter is that she did it to create a pathway where her documents would not become public record. She was trying to avoid this whole thing. Now, the FBI director saying he didn't bring charges because he couldn't find intent, but I think...
Well, he couldn't prove it.
He couldn't prove the intent. I think the intent is there. She set up this server on the same day that she started her Senate confirmation hearings. She didn't just go get a Gmail account. She literally set up this own server and in the basement of their house. I do agree with the FBI director's assessment that she was not sophisticated. I mean, that is his sworn testimony that she's not sophisticated.
He wasn't even that kind.
You know, the record's out there.
Can I just ask you something, though, as a citizen? You guys have to stop going after her for every little thing. Like, don't go after her for the perjury stuff and at the Benghazi hearing. Don't go after her for the Powell comment.
I feel like she's being sarcastic.
I'm not. Wait for a bigger investigation, like the Clinton Foundation, because every single time Congress goes after her and it doesn't
Then Congress wouldn't be doing their job.
No, I understand that, but there's also
You want Congress not to do their job?
No, what I want them to do is if you're really trying to somehow show that this person has a pathological inability to tell the truth, then, you know, putting her to task and trial for every single thing only makes her look like a victim, and it allows her to feel more emboldened and more entitled. And, you know...
No.
Yes.
If somebody comes and testifies before Congress and they give false, misleading statements, that is against the law. And for the FBI director...
You guys investigate and go after every single person who possibly perjures themselves now?
For the FBI, we should. For the FBI director to testify that after a year-long investigation, they never even looked at her under oath testimony. Come on, you got to be kidding me.
I think we got to look at where we are now, and as these emails come out, every time they come out, they show something we didn't know before, which does lead back to the Clinton Foundation. That was the last thing we saw, the quid pro quo, pay for play, and that's what voters are hearing about right now.
The drip, drip, drip is always complicated for everybody, right? And especially this close to the election, it'll be interesting to see how she answers back. By the way, the nugget I was going to add is you can't ask a follow-up question when it's in writing.
Yes.
Right.
That was the judge's decision, though. The judge.
Yeah, that's like advantage Hillary Clinton, depending on what her original answers are. So we'll watch it. We'll cover it as it happens. In a cornerstone of his campaign, but some questions now on Mr. Trump's position on deporting more than 11 million illegal immigrants. He says there is no flip-flopping on this, but will we see a tweak to that controversial plan? And the battle rages on over that cash payment to Iran, you know, quote-unquote leverage. But don't call it ransom. Democrats continue to deny it was for ransom for hostages, but Republicans are demanding answers about that cash. Our own #OneLuckyGuy is one of those people. The congressman weighs in. You are busy.